Hello, you're watching VNA News and now headlines. President Trương Tấn Sang speaks about international integration process. Economic growth likely to hit 6.9% in 2016. Vietnam expects to welcome 8.5 million foreign visitors this year. President Trương Tấn Sang has called for greater efforts in 2016 and the next 5 years to bring into full play opportunities brought by the wider and deeper international economic integration.
Lúc bây giờ ta dùng cái từ ngữ khác thôi, nhưng thực chất nó là hội nhập.
In his interview granted to the press on the threshold of the new year 2016, the state leader said that a number of bilateral and multilateral free trade agreements signed in 2015 will help expand the market, mobilize more resources, and boost advanced technology transfer. However, they also pose huge challenges to the local economy and business community.
Với một cái tiêu chí, một cái trình độ nó cao hơn. Cho nên phải chấp nhận sự cạnh tranh ở mức độ cao hơn.
President Sang said, although 2015 was a difficult year, both domestically and regionally, Vietnam still saw positive socio-economic development, relatively high economic growth, and macroeconomic stability. He expressed his belief that, with the strength of the country, the leadership of the party and state, and the growth of the entrepreneur community, Vietnam's integration in the new period will be a success. When being asked about how to have a professional state apparatus to meet new integration requirements, President Sang emphasized the need to increase the validity and efficiency of state management.
Trực tiếp đi vào cái cuộc cạnh tranh rất ác liệt này.
To develop the country during the integration process, it is necessary to have closer coordination between domestic and foreign resources, in which the former are decisive and the latter are extremely important.
However, he added, alongside integration, Vietnam should build an independent and self-reliant economy. Regarding factors that help Vietnam overcome serious challenges on territorial integrity and sovereignty, the president said that, in the context of globalization, Vietnam wishes to be a friend of all nations in the international community for peace, cooperation and development.
Bạn bè ngày càng đông, sự ủng hộ cộng đồng quốc tế vào cộng đồng mới Việt Nam ngày càng lớn. Các vị thấy hình dung rất rõ. Thì tiếp tục thực hiện đường lối này.
The more our friends are, the bigger the international community's support for our national renewal, construction and defense. This creates a great strength for us to firmly safeguard sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Ngày càng nó tăng lên. Và do đó vai trò vị trí Việt Nam trong khu vực Đông Nam Á cũng như khu vực khác và thế giới ngày càng tăng, các vị hình dung rất là rõ. 4.000 năm các đồng chí hình dung rất là rõ.
He concluded with the continued implementation of the policy of more friends, fewer enemies, and putting the past behind and looking towards the future. Vietnam will surely receive bigger support from the world and achieve more stable growth, thus helping the country overcome all challenges and firmly safeguard its national sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Sự ủng hộ cộng đồng quốc tế vào cộng đồng mới Việt Nam ngày càng lớn.
Standard Chartered Bank expects Vietnam GDP to expand 6.9% in 2016, higher than its previous forecast of 6.6%. The following report will provide more details.
Standard Chartered's global research report said Vietnam would become the second fastest growing economy in Asia this year, second only to India. The country's growth will be driven by better construction and manufacturing activities amidst continued strength in foreign direct investment inflows. The report updates that Vietnam is moving onwards and upwards, although the global growth is likely to remain flat at 2.9% in 2016. Consumption is likely to remain the biggest growth driver in 2016, closely followed by investment. However, net exports are likely to remain flat. The bank's economists are upbeat about the economic outlook for the country, with a strong inflow of foreign direct investment expected to continue this year. They regard Vietnam as one of the few prime investment opportunities in an otherwise lackluster global economy. According to Standard Chartered, the State Bank of Vietnam's recent decision to set a daily reference rate for the Vietnamese đồng will allow greater flexibility to respond to increasingly volatile market conditions.
Vietnam's tourism sector hopes to welcome 8.5 million foreign visitors and serve 60 million domestic holidaymakers this year, earning a total of 370 trillion dong, roughly $16.8 billion in revenue. Vietnam's tourism sector faced many challenges and prolonged drawbacks from mid-2014 to mid-2015 due to impacts from economic difficulties in the region and around the world. However, the sector rejoiced from the last half of 2015 when international tourist numbers bounced back remarkably. In particular, the number of arrivals from the Republic of Korea rose by 31.3% to surpass the 1 million benchmark. The strong recovery helped to increase the number of foreign tourists to the country in 2015 to 7.94 million, a slight growth of 0.9% compared to 2014. The number of domestic travelers was 57 million last year. Earnings from tourism services reached a record high of 337.8 trillion dong, approximately $15.4 billion. Vietnam's rice exports are expected to enjoy more opportunities in 2016 thanks to contracts transferred from last year and the growing demand of major markets. Stay tuned for more on this report.
According to the Vietnam Food Association, domestic exporters will continue delivering contracts signed in 2015 with a total volume of 1.3 million tons of rice. Therefore, the association won't have to buy rice for temporary stockpile in the 2015 to 2016 winter-spring crop like the previous harvest. China remains a major importer of rice from Vietnam this year. Besides, the Philippines has planned to buy an additional 50,000 tons of rice from Vietnam and Thailand for stockpile in case of natural disasters. Indonesia also plans to buy 350,000 tons of rice in the first quarter of 2016, while Malaysia is expected to increase its rice imports due to El Nino impacts.
Vietnam is expected to gain $7.7 billion in wood and wooden product export this year, $0.6 billion higher than last year.
The Vietnam Wood and Forestry Products Association said export of wood and forestry products will have the advantage of starting operations through the ASEAN Economic Community and the Trans-Pacific Partnership Deal. Local enterprises have done good business with ASEAN partners for many years, so the community will create favorable conditions for them to develop further business in coming time. Meanwhile, TPP will also usher in opportunities for the domestic wooden product makers to have more legal wooden material for export processing because the TPP member countries have great potential for high-quality wooden materials with legal origins. That will create more opportunities for Vietnamese manufacturers to export their products to the EU and the US, where there is a high demand for licensed wooden products. In 2015, Vietnam posted $7.1 billion in wooden and forestry product exports, 8% higher than the previous year. The largest export markets of Vietnamese wooden products are the US, Japan, and China, accounting for 67% of the country's total export value.
Swan singing artisans in the northern Midland province of Phu Tho and the provincial authorities have been undertaking all necessary measures to preserve and revive swan singing, as well as bring the unique singing closer to communities. These young yet talented swan performers are on tour in Hanoi. They are high school students from Phu Tho province. Many have studied swan singing for several years and showed huge interest in the traditional art form. Swan singing, one of the oldest forms of Vietnamese performing arts, was listed by UNESCO among the world's intangible cultural heritages in need of urgent safeguarding in 2011. As a result, an array of swan singing performances and publicity events have been organized at home and abroad, and training activities have been conducted to ensure the continuity of the traditional rituals, practices, and festivals. I have been learning swan singing for nearly 10 years. At first, it was hard to perform the singing and the dances at the same time. But everything became simpler thanks to predecessors' instructions. I will keep on practicing singing at school every Saturday and Sunday. These youngsters are members of the An Thai Club, one of the 4 oldest swan singing guilds in Phu Tho province. We hold swan singing classes regularly for local youngsters and communities with the aim to preserve and promote the traditional art form. Phu Tho province has mapped out a plan on preserving swan singing and teaching the youth to practice it. My friends and I have learned swan singing for a period of time. Now I'm able to perform 6 swan songs. Phu Tho now has 23 swan singing guilds with 950 members, a 20-fold increase just over the past 5 years. The province's swan singing training program has proven efficient, greatly contributing to the success of the swan singing preservation plan. As the result, between 2013 and 2015, the province had 62 artisans and 100 youngsters trained in swan singing.
In the past, very few people were keen on swan singing. But we have exerted efforts to communicate the significance of the traditional singing to local residents. And now the number of members of our guilds have increased to nearly 40.
The provincial authorities are working with the Vietnam Cultural Heritage Association on a document to submit to UNESCO, proposing swan singing be removed from the organization's list of heritages in need of urgent protection. Other efforts have been made to bring the singing closer to communities.
We will back collaboration with music researchers to study and couple swan singing with other musical instruments such as flutes, with the hope of making the traditional music more intriguing for listeners.
Apart from the establishment of additional swan singing guilds, Phu Tho province has attempted to increase the teaching and practice of swan singing at schools. Furthermore, it has also combined the singing with tourism products to lure tourists. Swan singing is believed to have been developed during the reign of Hung Kings, 2890 to 250 before Christ. The singing is traditionally performed in sacred places such as temples, shrines, and communal houses during spring festivals. And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. May the Lunar New Year 2016 bring you happiness, luck, and prosperity. Welcome the Year of the Monkey.